This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Now at noon, as the coronavirus cases and deaths continue to climb, small businesses here in Indiana could be closer to getting more help to keep their doors open. Coming up, the latest on another round of funding moving through Washington as Indiana begins to focus on the rebound from this pandemic. We'll have much more straight ahead right here on the News at Noon. We do want to welcome you into the News at Noon here on RTV6. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from his home. And Todd, we know today's a little bit cooler outside, but hey, there is sunshine, so no complaints here.
You know, that's the good news. The sunshine, as I always say, helps everything all across the area. Even if it's a little on the cooler side, it's a lot better than being cool with clouds. And we'll continue to have the sunshine going forward throughout the entire day. That is the good news. As far as temperatures go, you can see they range from 45 in Peru to 49 in Indianapolis. Low 50s still in southern locations. Now going forward throughout the remainder of the day, the view will look like this with the sunshine. However, with persistent winds, which have been very gusty. In fact, the last gust right here at the top of the hour was 35 miles per hour in Indianapolis. Those winds are out of the northwest, and that is going to prevent us from warming much throughout the remainder of the day. We'll go up to about 52 degrees, so that's just a couple of degrees, 4 degrees warmer than we are right now in Indy. And then once the sun sets, we will see those temperatures fall back down into the 40s very, very quickly across the area. So if you are going for that neighborhood walk, maybe after a dinner later on this evening, you're definitely going to want to have the jacket, but it's dry. Rain does return to the forecast later in the week. We'll talk about that, Lauren, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. New this midday, a man is in the hospital after he was shot and wounded by police in Lafayette. This all happened around 1:30 this morning after Lafayette officers were called to a parking lot near North 6th and Cincinnati streets. Police have not said why they were called there yet, and they haven't given a reason why officers fired shots at the man. The victim was taken to the hospital, but so far the man's condition has not been released. Investigators are still working to find out what caused this overnight fire that damaged this apartment complex in downtown. 27 fire units were called to the 800 Cap apartments on North Capitol and West St. Clair Street just before 1:30 this morning. Firefighters tell us the fire was in a rooftop common area and it did not spread to any apartments inside, but it did force several people who live in the complex into the streets overnight.
I just got home from work. As soon as I pulled in the gate, I looked up and I saw the fire on top of the roof. Literally sparks flying off of the roof. What's really scary is it's going to take hours and hours and hours just to find out if my apartment has damage.
Well, the apartment complex is a former industrial building. No residents were hurt. One firefighter suffered a minor injury in a fall. Moments ago, the state health department released Indiana's latest numbers on COVID-19. Indiana now has surpassed 600 deaths, 12,000 total cases. 61 new deaths were reported to the health department, though those deaths may have happened over a period of several days. Perhaps the one bit of positive news is a drop in the number of new infections reported. That number has mostly been trending lower over the past 5 days. Of course, we'll have an update from the governor and the state health commissioner at 2:30 this afternoon. You can watch that briefing live here on RTV6 and also at the IndyChannel.com. The economic problems tied to the pandemic continue. The price of oil is negative territory for the first time ever. Also today, lawmakers say they've reached a deal with the Trump administration on a second round of economic relief for small businesses. ABC's Inez de la Cotera tells us the deal includes some money sought by Democrats for hospitals and more coronavirus testing.
This morning, Senator Chuck Schumer telling CNN the White House and lawmakers on Capitol Hill have reached a deal on a new emergency funding plan.
We came to an agreement on just about every issue. Staff was up all night writing. There are still a few more I's to dot and T's to cross, but we have a deal.
The $450 billion deal would pump an additional $310 billion into the Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses.
We were, feeling pretty good about where we were in the world 10 years on, or, approaching our 10-year anniversary. And now it's just all turned upside down.
Democrats also pushed to have the plan include money for nationwide testing and another $75 billion for hospitals. Just as Beaumont Health in Michigan announces today it is temporarily laying off more than 2,400 employees and is permanently eliminating 450 positions due to the dire financial effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the loss of more profitable elective surgeries.
What we're going through as healthcare providers and people working in the hospital is something I would never wish on anybody.
The oil industry also taking a big hit.
We've had oil demand collapse. People are driving less. No one's flying anywhere.
And with storage capacity for excess oil running out, oil futures dropping below $0 for the first time. If that new relief bill is approved by the Senate, the House is expected to consider it as early as Thursday. Inez de la Cuetara, ABC News, Washington.
In addition to business owners, farmers here in Indiana are hoping new federal funding will help them weather this COVID-19 economic storm. Last week, the USDA announcing a $19 billion program to help farmers, but some questions still remain. Dennis Frey runs the Shelby County Co-op, serving more than 600 farmers in 8 surrounding counties. He says the pandemic is forcing farmers to sit on their crops that they can't move or sell.
Very concerned about basically, how long is this thing going to play out? We're in uncharted territory, no precedent to go by.
Federal officials say the coronavirus food assistance program will provide $16 billion in direct support to farmers, ranchers, and agricultural producers. The USDA will buy $3 billion worth of products and distribute them to food banks and other nonprofit organizations all around the country. RTV6 is focusing on Indiana's rebound in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Join us for a virtual forum with the Department of Workforce Development's top leaders tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. You can join the discussion and ask questions about getting back to work and making ends meet. That's on the RTV6 Facebook page and also at theindychannel.com. The pandemic has impacted tourism and hospitality all across the country, but one new report says Indiana is actually weathering the storm better than some other states. Coming up next, our Alyssa Donovan digs into why that might be the case. Todd.
And Lauren, the sun is shining all across central Indiana. That's the good news. However, the flag's fully extended as we're dealing with some gusty winds on this Tuesday. I'll let you know how long these winds are going to stick around and also when some rain heads our way coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
Be a Millionaire, Wednesday on ABC.
Welcome back. Indiana's tourism industry brings billions of dollars each year to our economy. With cancellations and rescheduling of events, what does that mean for our state? Our Alyssa Donovan got some answers.
Visitors spent a record $13.2 billion here in Indiana last year. That came in the form of restaurant spending, shopping, entertainment, and hotels. So what do we do since we haven't had that income coming to our state? Well, I spoke with an expert about the impact on our economy. According to Jill Gonzalez, an analyst with Wallet Hub, Indiana is one of the luckier states when it comes to the impact of COVID-19 on tourism. The reason? Are other industries which are still vital and running right now. While some states like Florida, Nevada, and Hawaii depend significantly on tourism to keep their states running.
So again, one of the silver linings here, at least for this industry, is that the Midwest is not too largely affected. Most of the states there are in the bottom 10, and this is a list where you're actually happy to be in the bottom 10.
And the cancellation of the Big Ten tournament and the NCAA tournament, we've lost out on tens of millions of dollars that would be typically coming in to Indiana's tourism industry. But the good news is, since we don't depend on tourism as much as other states, the hope is we'll have a quicker recovery. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. If you'd like to help your community rebound from the pandemic, but you're not sure how, you can donate to the Central Indiana COVID Community Economic Relief Fund. RTV6 is a proud partner of United Way in this effort. The money raised goes directly to organizations that are serving those in need, like helping with food relief, care for senior citizens, resources for mental health, and much more. You can donate by texting HELP 2020 to 91999. If you're looking online to find a mask to wear when you're out in public, well, the Better Business Bureau says that you need to be careful. Coming up, how scammers are setting up sites that don't deliver. We'll be right back.
Honda of Fishers.
Welcome back. Wearing masks in public is being recommended these days, but finding them, it can be really difficult since they're in such high demand. Tim Maniscalco with the Better Business Bureau tells us that you have to be a little more careful where you look for those masks and other protective equipment.
People are out trying to look for masks, gloves, those types of things. And we found two websites that are both related to each other that consumers should really watch out for. They're called Alpha Mental Accessories and Atlantic Medical Supplies. Here's the situation. Both those websites look very, very similar. Number two, they both were created on the same day in late February. They both claim to work out of Missouri. They are not registered with the Missouri Secretary of State as a business that's incorporated in that state. And what they're doing is they are advertising masks and other things like that at low prices. In fact, if you go on their website, you'll see the first picture is someone who's dressed in a mask and gloves, and looks like they have a lot of protective sorts of equipment there. So you just want to be very, very careful because these websites, they look like they're just trying to capitalize on the fear of not being able to get those types of protective equipment. They're advertising very low prices, and once again, they're not incorporated in the state, and they just popped up here in the last month or so. So we just want to make certain that people know about those two, as well as any sort of purchases you make online like that. Just be very, very careful. I don't think people are going to be discounting those types of items right now. Now, you want to make sure you don't overpay for those, but just be very careful of those two sites and really shopping for any of those types of things online right now, because there are fake websites out there that just are not going to deliver the goods.
Tim, thank you. In a new effort to show support for healthcare workers, you can head down to Brown County here and see these trees in Nashville embraced with white ribbons. The Brown County Convention and Visitors Bureau says it wants to send a big thank you to all of those who are risking so much for the health and well-being of others. The white ribbon movement is popping up all across the country. There's even a website encouraging homeowners to put white ribbons on their trees. And a great day to get outside under the trees. Maybe, Todd, we have some sunshine out there on this Tuesday, which is a welcome sight after all the cold temperatures last week. The sunshine always warms things up.
Yeah, absolutely. Sunshine's great always, and we'll have it today and tomorrow, and take advantage because by the end of the week, we're going to see some rain make its way back into the area. We have the sunshine. That's the good news. The bad news behind me here, this is the wind speed and the wind direction. They're out of the northwest, anywhere from about 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusting even a little bit higher than that. But it's more so the northwesterly direction that's the issue for the day today, because that's what's preventing us from warming a whole lot here throughout the remainder of the afternoon hours. The wind speeds themselves, they will start to decrease once we get closer to sunset. So once the sun sets, the winds will become a lot calmer eventually into the overnight period. Here's a live look outside and just a few fair weather clouds off there in the distance. Bloomington still holding on to 53 degrees, 49 though right now in Indianapolis, 48 is the current temperature in Muncie. We'll rebound back up into the 50s for most of us here this afternoon, right at 50 degrees in northern locations, 54 in Indy, about 56 the high temperature from Bloomington over towards the Columbus area. The good news is we are rain free. There's no precipitation around our area. So for the evening hours, if you do have plans to be out and about, as I mentioned earlier, once the sun sets, which is at 8:30, that is when you're going to see the temperatures start to drop very, very quickly. We'll go from the 50s into the 40s, and eventually by tomorrow morning, we are going to be looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 30s in most locations. So your Wednesday starts very, very chilly, and we do have some frost advisories on the far eastern side of the state that will go into place. But notice the difference tomorrow once we change the wind direction. Today we're struggling to just go up 4 to 5 degrees. Tomorrow will warm very, very quickly once the sun does come up to highs that eventually will be into the mid to upper 60s. In fact, some of you could hit 70 degrees tomorrow, and it's overall a good day with just increasing clouds. However, late in the day Wednesday, but more so Thursday, we bring rain into the forecast. Thursday is potentially the wettest day that we have in our 7-day planning forecast, and it starts a trend winds. Unfortunately, that's going to keep things a little bit unsettled as we go into the next 7 days. So as you take a look at your 7-day planning forecast, today and tomorrow are the 2 days to take advantage of. Thursday's a day, if you are out and about, you're going to have to carry the umbrella around. And there will be dry hours Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But each one of those days, there will be the threat of seeing some isolated showers, or even on Saturday, a few thunderstorms. The good news is temperatures don't really drop off a whole lot. We'll be in the 50s and 60s as those showers start to make their way through the area. A very typical spring-like pattern here, Lauren, with temperatures that will be up and down. You'll just have to kind of dodge the showers from time to time once we get to Thursday and beyond.
All right, Todd, sounds good. Thank you. Well, if you're looking for something sweet to brighten your day, a Pendleton Donut Shop is still open for business. It specializes in much more than glaze and sprinkles. RTV6's Brad Brown found out what's on the menu at Quack Daddy Donuts and how you can get your hands on a dozen.
It seems these days a lot of people are looking to satisfy their sweet tooth, and in Pendleton, they've gone ducky for donuts.
It's been very surprising how much we didn't think that it would do well at all, but yeah, we're able to employ all of our employees, which is great. You know, they're young adults, they need the cash.
Quack Daddy Donuts is located right in the middle of Pendleton's downtown. The shop's normally buzzing with activity. Now all of Quack Daddy's favorites are made to go.
It's been an adjustment for sure, but all in all, it's been pretty smooth for us. Going from dine-in to delivery and pickup has been, there's a lot of changes that go along with that, but it's been a smooth process.
They've built a strong fan base with wild toppings and fun flavors. Now, with so many people spending so much time at home, the Quack Daddy Dozens are available for delivery.
We didn't expect the volume of business that we received, so, just adjusting to that and making sure we're fully staffed and able to deliver on time.
Whether it's breakfast, a snack, or a weekend treat, Quack Daddy's keeping smiles on faces, 1 dozen at a time.
The community's been great, and not just Pendleton, surrounding, LaPel, Anderson, Middletown, Greenfield. We have something unique. We have a special treat that you can't get anywhere else. So going and seeing our regulars, that's what makes my day.
Alexa says she's making many of those deliveries herself. They try to keep it within about 15 minutes of the shop, but you can call ahead to place your order for curbside pickup as well. All of the information on hours and delivery are available on the Quack Daddy Donuts Facebook page. Let's highlight a couple more in Pendleton. Next door to Quack Daddy is Madison State Street Bistro. Chef Dan is making some of the best pizza in the area. Call ahead for curbside pickup Monday through Saturday evenings. And Downing's Old Trail is open out by I-69, serving their roasted chicken and home-style favorites to go. You can check their Facebook page for nightly specials as well. Working for you in Pendleton, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right, Brad, that looks good. Thank you. Well, when we come back, it is time for our Pet of the Week. We're going to tell you all about this guy. His name is Kermit, and he's looking for a home where he can both play and be cuddly. I'll tell you more about Kermit coming up after the break. Stick around. You're watching the news at noon. Welcome back. It is Tuesday, and that means it's time to highlight our Pet of the Week from Indy Humane. Today, our Pet of the Week is Kermit. Take a look here. Kermit is a wiggly, sensitive, happy 2-year-old boy. Indy Humane tells us that Kermit's been staying at a foster home during the quarantine with a local sports writer. He enjoys attention and needs a home where he can get some daily exercise and playtime. But Kermit also likes to cuddle with people, so he may be best in a home without children who are too young, as he could overwhelm a small child. Kermit also loves soft toys and treats, of course. The best news is Kermit's adoption fee has been waived thanks to a generous sponsor of Indy Humane. The shelter is closed to the general public right now, but if you'd like to set up an appointment to meet Kermit, you can just go to the Indy Humane's website. That's indyhumane.org to find out how. And he is adorable. All right, Todd, is it an okay day to get out and maybe walk the dog?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little breezy, but those winds will start to die down later on this evening. That is the good news. Plenty of sunshine today. Highs only in the 50s. Tomorrow, much warmer. It starts off chilly in the 30s, but we end at 67 degrees. Rain returns to the forecast on Thursday. Thursday likely going to be the wettest day of the entire 7-day. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. We hope you come back. Join us for the news at 5 this afternoon. Have a great Tuesday.